Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be teaching you about what is cell differences, and the types of cell differences, and how to use cell differences in Excel along with the sum formula. So let's get started and see and understand what is cell differences. So cell differences are nothing but whenever you are referring one cell with another. So it takes values. So cell differences mainly works whenever we are using any formula here. So let's see how that works in the after uh, getting know about these types of cells. So first understand the types of cell differences. So single cell difference is nothing but whenever you are referring to one particular cell. So in this case, I am referring to G5, right? G5 is one single difference, right? So this is called single cell difference. What is array or contiguous difference? So array or contiguous difference is nothing but whenever you are continuously referring to cells from one particular cell to another cell. So in this case, I am referring from B4 to D8. So this is called array reference or contiguous reference. So this will be written as B B4 to D8. So B4 colon D8, right? Non-contiguous references is nothing but I'm selecting from B4 to D8. So there is no continuous between the cells. There is a gap between these cells, right? Only selected values will be used in this non-contiguous cells. So only B4 and D8 are selected. So how we can write is B4 comma D8 is how we can write, and this is called non-contiguous reference. So let's see how we can use this references by using a formula. So now let's here we have a data of products, and let's now calculate the total sales and profits of these products. So in order to calculate total sales, first we need to refer these three cells, right? So before writing any formula in Excel, the formula should always start with equal to sign, right? So let's start that with equal to sign, and let's refer these three cells, three columns now, B, C, D. Let's start with B4 uh, equal to, let's start with B4 plus C4 plus D4 and hit enter. Now I got the value of the price, which are the total sales. Now if I, without entering a formula, if I manually type here and if I click enter, then if I modify any value here from 200 to 100, this value doesn't get changed because there is no formula associated with this cell, right? So that is the main advantage of using formulas in Excel. Uh, but when I use a formula, for example, in this case I'm using the sum formula and hit enter. Now if I modify any value here from 200, let me make it 100. So now this cell gets automatically changed because this cell is associated with these three columns, right? So that is how we do the cell differences in Excel. Now let's revert it, and now let's drag this cell down. Now if you observe here, we got the all the sales values because only the row value gets changed in all the cells. The column values will be same. So BCD columns will be same. Only the row values get changed. So that is why we got all the values correctly. So in the same way, let's calculate the profit. So before calculating profit, let's understand the logical operators which we use in Excel, which are basic operators, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And let's also understand how we can use this. So in this case, let's calculate the profit of this total sales and the profit margin, which is 5%. So to calculate the profit, once again let's use equal to sign and select the E4 cell, which is total sales, multiplied by the total profit, which is 5%. It is in the I2 cell. Now hit enter. Right, now we got the profit of this toys product, right? Now if I drag it here, will I get the values? Let's see. No, I did not get the values, because if you observe here, the row value is getting changed every time. So E4, E5, E6, E7, and also we are the row values are getting changed, and but the cell which has the profit margin of 5%, this is I2, right? This cell is I2. But here if you observe, here I have I3, I4, I5 and I6, right? But if I double click on this cell, it is correctly taking this, pointing this associated with this cell, right? But if I double click on this, it is getting, this cell is getting associated with this one here, I3, but here we don't have any values, right? So that is the reason it is reverting us with the zero value. In the same way for this cell, it is again taking this cell, I4, which doesn't have any value. So same for this. So in order to resolve this issue, we need to use uh, constant value. So in Excel, there is a method called constant differences, which is nothing but using dollar sign between the values. So constant difference um, keeps the value constant. So let's see how we can use the constant difference value. So in this case, we want this I2 value to be remain constant for each of this uh, uh, rows, right? So in order to keep this value constant, we need to apply the dollar sign between for this I2 cell. So to apply dollar sign, either you can press F4 or you can manually use dollar sign between the values. So dollar sign should be before I and like after I, right? And if you click on enter. Now let's drag this value till down, and now you can see the values have been unique, right? Each cell has its own value, each row has its own value. E4 has its own profit value, E5 has its own profit value, and even the rest of the cells have its own profit value. Why? Because this cell has been constant. We have applied the constant reference value to I2, right? So that is the reason these values are also unique. So in that way, you can use the constant reference value to get unique values here, right? So now let's understand. So let's understand the sum formula as well. So I hope you understood the self-differencing method. So these are we whenever we calculate any formula, we need to refer these cells to get the values, right? So now let's understand the sum formula. How we can calculate the sum formula in two methods. I will show you two methods here to calculate the sum formula. So let's see that. So here I have a data of students with their college and the marks they got in different subjects. Now let's calculate the total marks for these students. So whenever we write a formula, let's start that with equal sign. And now let's enter the sum formula. So for entering sum formula, we have two methods. One is by writing sum, opening bracket, and selecting the numbers. So we need to refer this h value with this with this four column, right? So let's refer them one by one. I'm referring D4 first, and now hit comma so that you can refer to another cell. and now I'm referring E4 hit comma, now I'm referring for F4 hit comma, and now I'm referring to G4. That's it, and close the bracket and hit enter. So this is one way of using the sum formula, right? But is this the better way of using the sum formula? No, because this sum formula seems to be lengthy, because we are referring each cell separately, right? D4, E4, F4, G4, right? Um, this formula gives you the right values, but there is a better option than using this lengthy formula. So we can also use this simple formula. Instead of using this lengthy formula, we can simplify it and use the array method. So we can use this array method formula here. So equal to sum, and open the bracket, and from D4 to G4 select the values completely, right? And close the bracket and hit enter. That's it. Now you can see how simplified the formula has become just by selecting the columns from D4 to G4, and in between there is a colon symbol, and now you can simply double click and you can get the some formula, some values for this all these columns. So that is the second method, which is simple. Instead of referring individual cells separately, we can refer a complete cells at a time. So that is the best way to use the sum formula in Excel, using this array references and this type of references. So I hope you understood the cell references and types of references, and how we can use the cell references in Excel, and also the sum formula, which I showed you just now. So if you have any questions, please comment below. I will reply to your comments. Thanks for watching.